Shut up and sit down.
Well, everybody. Gosh, golly, oh golly, we made it. It's a brand new year. It is 2021. We made it. We're alive. We're here. We're breathing. And we're coming at you with the whole holiday New Year's resolutions for episode 227 of Third Shift. Because that's where we're at, everybody. And with me today, besides myself, I don't even know who I am. Doesn't matter who I am. We got the inglorious bastard, the one, the only, the sad banana or happy banana, the one who's not in front of the proper background he should be behind, that he set up and made super look cool and then never used it again. It's Matt. It is him. He's here with me today to talk about some New Year's resolutions. Last year's, did we accomplish them? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. This year's, are we going to actually go through with it? Well, we'll talk about that too. So, of course, we're not going to have much going on, but I think we should at least do how was the week before we, get into it. So, Matt, without further ado, how was your week this week?
This week sucked. It's quarter end. It's the worst time in history. Oh my God. Just a nightmare from start to finish. But I will say one good thing from this whole week, Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much energy for anything in this world. I can't even think about stuff. Like the other day, I was just like stared at the wall for a minute and I was like, I don't know. But the one thing I have energy for is I come home and I sit on my couch and I curl up like in a little like fetal position ball, but I have just enough room for my Xbox controller and I go, Cyberpunk, show me a world where there's not quarter end. Sure, there's murdering and psychos and robbing and
that's fine.
Killing
that's
and heads
fine.
popping off and stuff. But then there's also magical stuff like that jambalaya and beautiful character moments and character stories. And I go, at least I've got this in this hell of a week that we've had, at least this one shining star in that Cyberpunk. And that's my whole week. I mean, I've been having amazing fun times in that, getting into like new abilities and started crafting things and figuring out that and upgrading my favorite weapons so now they never have to go out of style. Oh my God, it's so good and so fun. And I want to talk about that in this episode instead of how much we sucked and how much we're going to suck last year and then this year. Whew, that's been my week. Working. But then my few moments of sanity when I get home are Cyberpunk, and it's so much fun and it's so cool and it's so great. And I just love it so much. How about your week, Eric? How's it been?
It's so strange that it's identical to yours, because it's not actually strange, because we're at the same place, we do the same quarter ends, we do all the same things, we play a lot of the same games, but not all the same games, and I too am playing Cyberpunk 2077 like a crazy fool, and I too am doing quarter end, and having just a miserable time, no breaks, no weekends, no nothing, just work, and coughing to death and dying, and besides all that work, playing Cyberpunk 2077, and just loving it. I've told you guys and gushed about it a million times. I've got to the point where every single yellow quest is gone. There's nothing left except the last one. And I told Matt the other day, I said, I'm done. I think this is time for me to wrap it up. I'm going to go do it. And then I went, Eric, you know what? On the blades section, you can't get that final skill until you're level 20 with your blades.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like level 15 or 16. And I'm like, what the heck? I have done every single quest in this game. How do I get there? And I've killed almost everybody with blades. And then I was like, well, let me just do some of these blue ones, these blue quests, those little stupid side quests.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started doing those, and all of a sudden, not all of them, but some of them start turning into yellow quests.
Oh,
and
damn it, no.
I went, I hate you, game. I hate you.
Oh, no.
And it's only like 1 out of 6, 1 out of 8.
But still,
some of them turn into little yellow bars. And I went, now I've got to go do every single blue bar quest in this stinking game before I go beat it now. Oh my gosh. So I popped on my Korean pop and I jumped on the motorcycle and off I went. Now I'm here today to tell you I'm not done. 70 hours in, I'm not done. Now I got to go do more.
That makes me so mad because I finally got one area, like the first area you start in, all clear quests other than like buying 2 cars that are left out there. And I drove past so many muggings and beatings and like the criminal activity
NCPD,
blue quest.
criminal activities. Yeah.
And I went, I'm not going to clean all these up. Now I got to clean all those up.
Yes, you do.
Jesus.
So it's not over, folks. I'm still in it to win it. And now, well, I guess this gives me an excuse to keep on slashing people's heads off and getting my blade up to 20 to get that final skill. Well, and then to boot, it levels up, but we won't even get there. We're not going to talk about that. I just at least want to get the base, skill of it there and then go beat the game. And then, of course, with DLCs, I'm sure I'll level up more. Yeah. But either way, it's the game that keeps on giving. Man, is there some funky junk? Is there some bugs? There is. There are. My game crashes on me at least twice a night when I play. But I don't even care. It's so much fun. Just being in that world, man. And just going, oh, you look crazy. And then chopping their heads off. Or, hey, hobo, here's $200. And then the hobo does a little dance and runs away. And I'm like, hey, I made my day. I feel better about myself. At least the hobo was nice to me. And hobo in real life one time, he threw a sandwich down at my feet that I gave me. And I was sad because I was hungry and I was going to eat the sandwich and I gave it to the hobo instead. So, at least in this game, that doesn't happen.
There's so many cool stories at Cyberpunk. I got on that quest, I think it was Stefan. He's like, hey, watch this brain dance. And of course you end up like in the bathtub where you, where you started the game. And I was like, you know what? I got my gear back, but screw it. I pulled out my 1200 DPS knife and I never put on any clothes and I just cut everybody up in that whole station. And then I went and found Stefan and I stabbed him in the eyeball and I grabbed him up on my shoulder and I walked a mile to the top of the overpass and I threw him off into all the cars. It was beautiful. Oh, it's just great.
Oh, and see, look at you. You did what you should have done. I was nice.
No.
I killed everybody in the station. Then I went to Stefan and I was like, hey, Stefan, you're all right, bro. You was just trying to make a living. I said, get on out of here with your crazy self. I let him run off.
I was so mad. I saw the 2 dialogue options: leave Night City forever, or you're gonna, or like, what is it? Like, give me some money. I was like, no, give me your life. And I stabbed him right in the eye. I loaded up my strong attack and it went plop. It just plink. Ooh, it was great.
And that's what we're talking about, folks. You can have so many different scenarios play out, random calls, random things everywhere. The game is so much fun. And I can't wait for all of you to get out of your little butthurt zones and when they fix it and patch it and everything and you pop in and actually get to experience this game for what it is. Yeah. And then we can all talk and have a great time about it again. It's going to be great. But that was my week. That's what we've been up to. And without further ado, hey, what's going on, man? What?
I was going to say, speaking of talking and having a great time, it's time to look back on our 2020 resolutions and see how well we did. Grade yourself. A, B, C, D, E, F, Z. Z minus. I don't know. Start off with some, Eric. I don't know if we're going to toss it back and forth. You just want to hit them all up in a row.
All right. Well, let's just hit one up right now. And I'm going to start with with a failure. I was like, all right, 2 years ago, I said, I'm going to stream. I'm going to be a big streamer. This is the way we're going to do it. I failed that. Last year, I went, hey, can't do it. It's not going to happen. Too much. Too hard. I can do 2 streams a month, though. That's what I'm going to do this year. That's my goal. Well, I did it up until June. I think it was June, right around June-ish. And then it fell apart. And then I did it like once a month, once or twice. And then it was just dead the rest of the year. So that's probably like a C minus, maybe? Like a C minus, a D plus at best?
D plus at best.
All right, we'll go D. It's not a complete failure because half the year is half the year. We can't. But I mean, that's still a D, maybe even an E, if we go by school.
It's a 50%. What's a 50% score?
Oh, that's terrible, man. I don't want to talk about it. It's not nice. It's not fair. But cause in real life it's different. But anywho, it's disappointing. Usually like I'll hiccup and I can bounce back. I don't know what it was, but this year I could not bounce back. And I don't know what the hell happened. And actually, I do, because the first couple tries to bounce back. If you remember the lightning strike, the computer blowing up, there were a couple of real life events that kind of tied in and just really just pissed me off and really screwed me over.
Right.
And then I let that get in my head or we're making that an excuse and just actually being lazy on top of it all, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, here we are, it's January, and it never happened.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, it failed. I had great prospects for it. It felt right. It felt good. And I was on track. I was doing it. And then it just, boom, got shotgun. So, that one, like Matt said, 50% is actually an E, but I want to call it like a D. I want to call it a D because I want to feel a little bit better about myself. So I'm going to call it a D. What about you? What's one of yours, buddy?
I will start out with a fail too because everyone on the resolution said, "Oh, we're going to get in shape. We're going to be so healthy this year. It's going to be so great." Yeah, I didn't do that. Not at all. The caveat that came with that I A++'d was I told myself I was only going to go out to a restaurant solo, trips once a month maximum. Hey, that's been easy to do because you can't go out to a restaurant anyway.
COVID did it for you.
COVID saved me on that one. So that averages out to be like maybe a D. That's a 50%. That's a fail here and a succeed here. I'm going to say that's a D.
That's a D. I like your thinking, buddy.
Even right now, when I can just call up and be like, "Hey, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Make me some food." I never do it. Eric gives me crap for it all the time because it's just easy to lighten up my life for one miserable day out of a miserable month, but I never do it. I've done it like once.
The power of laziness really just gets you, doesn't it? Just that power of laziness just shoots you to the moon. You can't make a phone call and go pick up that delicious meal.
It's not really laziness. Like, I feel like I would be lazy if I did that because I'd start doing it. Just be like, I'll just order online Fortune House every day. Click, 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 click. Or I could just go home and in 5 minutes put together shrimp fried rice that's freaking delicious. Nah, just go home and do it.
Well, see, the shrimp fried rice you're putting together, I don't know what you're putting together because when I make shrimp fried rice, I got to cook the rice. It takes like 30 minutes. And then I got to let it sit in the refrigerator for 1 day to cool off. And then I got to get the eggs out, bust the eggs, put it in the soy sauce, the peanut, whatever it is, everything else. Saute it in a big old wok. It's a whole rigmarole. It's like 2 days worth of cooking to make some freaking shrimp fried rice. So,
shrimp fried rice is leftover stuff, though. That's why you load up your rice maker that you can't see. It's behind me on that counter over there. Mm-hmm. You make a big old bowl of it, and that's what you eat throughout the week.
Yeah.
And you just, I'm going to have this kind of fried rice
not
over
a bad
here,
idea.
or rice on the side with this. You just heat it up a little bit in the pan that you're
and that's
cooking
what you're
everything
supposed to
else
do, literally, with the. So it makes sense. But in my household, we don't ever know what we're making day to day. So
yeah. If
someone does go, "Oh, I want the fried rice," well, that's a 2-day process. So when you say those things, I'm like, "Nah, bro, that ain't 15 minutes."
But I always have the rice, so it's always 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you this: you're right in the sense. For me, it would never happen because if I started just buying food and ordering out, I would be literally murdered here in my home.
That's true, yeah.
So that doesn't even process in my brain. So I'm like, oh, and I eat out, that's just it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. So for a normal human, I get what you're saying though. If you just get that ease of just every day, just whatever you want given to you, you get into the habit of that, all of a sudden you're spending a freaking fortune, and that's bad news bears. So I'm on board. It's just in Eric head.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Get what you want for that day. Because, that's all you're going to have for 3-4 weeks easy, right?
No. I got nobody to answer to, so it just goes.
Nobody to answer to, that's right.
It's like that little money gun. You've seen the rappers with the money guns.
Or that one show, that Netflix show where they do the bacon and they shoot the money out. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I got you. So, a D on that one. Well, if we're going to let's stay in the fail zone. That's where I'm going to stay, because that's typically where I'm at anyway. Another one, I said, I'm not going to set a time or a date or a poundage, but I'm going to keep losing weight. Well, guess what? Up until about June, July, I lost about 12, 13 pounds.
Nice.
I was doing it. I was rocking it. And as Matt can attest to, I was still doing all the sending the pictures. I was doing all the, hey, what are you guys doing? Get hype. You got to do it. Even up till it was September-ish, I was still getting on board the train. Because I think I got back on board in early September and started to tell you guys, hey, you got 3 months. This is a P90X section. And if you don't do it, you're screwed. Remember that?
I don't think you said that. I think you stepped on and you were leaving the station a couple times and then you fell off also.
I did. No, that's what I'm getting to. I fell off. So I fell off in about June. I didn't do anything. Just blah. once again, just everything kept happening. Stuff was going on. I was just like, whatever. And then I jumped back on like late August, beginning of September. And then I text all my little buddies and I go, oh, guys, man, this is your last chance not to be a failure for the New Year's thing because you got 3 months. And of course, the P90X will get you there. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I'm doing it. Roar, yeah. And then I did it for like 3 weeks, if that. And then I died. And of course, what I didn't tell you is from June till that September time, I was just doing whatever the hell I wanted.
Yeah.
Just bad news bears. Just bad news bears. I gained it all back, you know. And then I got that little motivation and died off again. And I weighed myself because me and the wife talked, you know, about this year and what we're trying to do. And I'm even. So at least there's that. I ended up breaking even with what I was last year when we talked about this.
That's not bad.
At least at the end of the day, I come out flat. You know, and that's terrible because I did so much progress and made so much progress, you know, at the beginning of the year. But alas, here we are, a failure. That's a straight up E. There's no coming back.
Well, here, I'll stay mostly on the fail side of things, but this was kind of sort of not my fault, but I did make some progress in it. It was hey, I'm going to be a more positive person. I'm going to spend less time on the things that I don't like, more times on things that I do. And I did make some progress in those areas, but it's hard to escape when one of the things you don't like is the thing you go and do every single day, and it just wears on you, and it's like a big rock just pressing down on your shoulder. Your Atlas, you can't even hold it up, though. You're just falling over.
Being crumpled. So,
I don't know. That's a mostly fail on that front, but then most of the things that I do love, movies, theater, live events, you can't do anymore. So I can't even do the things that I most love to do. Go have live experiences with talented people and enjoy their performance and go, wow, I'm living a life. You can't do that now in COVID land. So it's a mostly fail, but I did do some things that got negative things that I don't want to deal with away from me. So it's a D. I passed, but not by much.
You know, I don't know, man. You know, that's a rough D. That's a rough D right there.
Hey, man, it is D. I failed all the tests. Or I passed the tests, but I didn't show up to class. So
you didn't show up to class and failed every assignment you were supposed to do.
I didn't do any assignments. I came up, showed up for the final, and they went, well, technically, I guess you did it.
True that. And then, of course, I got 2 more. Mm-hmm. And I'll do the other fail. I said I was going to rock in to not specifically indies, but just, you know, the smaller games, less well-known games, those 7-10 micro games. Didn't happen. It's an E. I didn't have time. And now I didn't have time, and I'm going to tie it straight into the succeed part, is because I 100% crazy with flying colors, A++, my main one, which is always play all the big games, see all the big games, stay up to date with all the hip and cool crap. I played or watched a full playthrough of every single top 10 game this year. Every single one of them. I played myself all the way through or watched an entire playthrough of. And that's not even it. I think I got like 16 titles under my belt of all the big games this year. So with Flying Colors, I did that one. And I even alluded to this last year. I knew this was going to happen. I shouldn't have even made this whole pledge because I knew exactly this scenario was going to play out. I bought a lot of those games. I didn't have money to keep buying a bunch of small, tiny games when I was literally spending $60 on each one of these bangers and busters. So, you know, you're talking at least 8 or 9 of those. That's a lot of cash.
True.
And so I was like, I can't keep buying more and more and more.
I will say, though, you do get a lot of those games free on Epic Games Store. That's a lot of easy freebies. You look at some of those sales, you get some like $2, $3, $4, $5. Those are some sneakers. I'm not trying to give you any crap. I'm just saying
you could.
Life finds a way. Life finds a way.
You can make it work. That is true. But I will say, with the time spent in all those big games, with the money spent in all those big games, it was kind of like, oh, I should play Carrion, or I should go do this. Mm-hmm. It never happened. Now, I do own Carrion now, so I can go play Carrion because, like you said, a big old deal came along. I ended up getting it for like $3, along with a couple other really cool small games. Well, it's not a small game, but Elysium.
Yep.
Got that for like $5. So there's a lot of those on my plate now. But it happened, like you said, through sales, deals, weird things throughout the year. But then, of course, I was in the middle of playing whatever the biggest title was at that time. And here we are. It's January. I at least have a few of them, but haven't actually played and or beaten those little titles like I said I was going to do yet. So it's a failure. It's a failure. But at least because of it being a failure, the one was a complete A++. I played every big game. You can't talk to me. You can't say, Eric, you don't know what Spider-Man Miles Morales is. Eric, you don't know about Last of Us 2. Eric, you don't know Ghost of Tsushima. Eric, you don't know FF7 Remake. It goes on and on. Yes, I do. I've played and or watched full playthroughs of every single game that came out this year that all the big sites ever talked about.
You ended on a good note. I'm going to double up my last two. And one I'm going to say is like a C, and one is an A++. Because the first one, this is C, was I'm going to stream twice a week, and I'm not going to stress out about what I stream and where I stream. That was one of those kind of ups and downs, just came in waves. Hit it really good for like 3 straight months or so, and then take a week or 2 or 3 here off, then come back, or big new game release, boom, 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 I'm right on the train again, and then, once that one's done, I don't know what I want to do next. Just recently I took like a month and a half off. Then I started getting back into it again with Yakuza and with The Outer Worlds. Now it's quarter end time, so like I said, I have no energy to do that whatsoever. So it's another kind of dip down. So I'm going to say that's a C, but I was a lot more consistent than I have been. I think the one thing I need to work on is like the not stressing about stuff. If I want to stream, I'm going to stream. If I don't want to stream today, I'm not going to stream today. I'm not going to worry about, oh man, I can't play Yakuza unless I stream it. That's still kind of like stuck in my head a little bit because I stream it and then I export the stream to my YouTube channel and I make a nice like big playlist. So like it's a nice little check mark. Well, if I progress the story at all, I can't do that. My playlist just sits there and the next one goes, oh, hey, I did a whole bunch of hours of this and sorry. Not that a lot of people watch it, but you know what it is. Mm-hmm. But then the one that's an A++, beat every game I start. I've done that. I did that. Every game, every big game especially that I started, I played it all the way through to the end. The only games that I fell off of, I don't count because they just didn't interest me that much. I hate to say it, Horizon Zero Dawn, I played a few streams of it, and it just didn't hook me at that time, fell off of that. Godfall, got that up, started up, it didn't hook me. It started getting a little better, and then it just didn't hook me. I'm not going to count that. It's like, well, I just got to power through it because even though I didn't like it, I started it. No, every game that I liked, that I started, that I enjoyed, played through all the way to the end. Death Stranding, that was one of those ones. As I made that resolution, I was like, well, hopefully I make it through that one because it could be big and long and crazy, and I did. And I did it on stream. So that's an A++, super plus. You did it, Matt. I can't believe you did it. And then it also helped that I played a bunch of roguelites and you don't really beat them. You just kind of just keep going at it forever. And then when you stop doing it, then it's just over for you. Hooray! I cheated a little bit, not even thinking about it, but it is kind of true. Like I never beat Rogue Legacy, but I played through 100 runs of it and I had the most fun that I've had in that style of game ever in my whole life. Beat Hades, beat all these games, beat Miles Morales, beat all the stuff. It's great. Beat Ghost of Tsushima, went back into some New Game Plus on that one. Oh, God, so good. I'm so great. Look at that. We're awesome. We did stuff, Eric.
We did stuff. We still played a crap ton of video games and was in it to win it. So at the end of the day, we are winners. Because we can come to you and talk to you and say, yeah, we're still gaming, we're still having a great time, and we're still winning it. So there you go. Suck it. I don't care, 2020. You know what? I did good. Playing video games, living the good life.
Living the good life, which is going to continue into 2021 with these new resolutions. It's going to make our good lives even better. What's one you got, Eric?
I didn't want to do it, but I'm doing it. I got to put myself on blast right here. I got to do it. Uh-oh. I'm going to make the resolution that by March, I've lost 15 pounds. I'm going hardcore, man.
You're doing it.
I got to do it. I got to do it. By March, folks, not the end of the year. March. End of March, 15 pounds gone. Now, I've already started strong. I've been working out every last day since the first now.
Whew.
Doing P90X2 and some running.
Mm-hmm.
And I hurt and I don't feel good and I don't like it. And I look like some kind of fat slob trying to do these crazy moves. I forgot that P90X2 is all about the balance and these weird just flying around the room like some kind of orangutan crap going on. And I'm going to probably break my wrists because you're constantly flying onto the floor. I don't know what the hell this program thought you were supposed to be able to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm flying down with my 200 plus pounds onto the deck. And I'll tell you what, they don't do no good for my wrists. So, but I'm doing it and we're rocking it out. And that's a goal I'm setting right there. I want to smoke it. I want to come in hot to this year. So that way, even if stuff starts to turn to the south, I'll at least know I did something this year that I was supposed to do. And while I'm hot, while I'm bothered, while I'm ready to rock and roll, this is where you set that, because we all know after a month or two in, that's when people's little resolutions and all motivation starts to die. So this is where the iron's hot. This is where I can try to get those pounds off. And then even if I fall off some, maybe I can at least maintain what I gain into March. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it'll still be a success at the end of the year. That's my mindset for this, and that's what I'm hoping to do while I'm motivated and while I'm rocking it out.
I wrote down all my resolutions from last year, and then I realized just as we started the show, I never wrote down any for this year because a lot of these are just going to carry over. But I'm just going to say, you know what? You're doing that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give myself like 10 pounds because I haven't been exercising like anything at all. So I'm going to give myself a little grace period there. I'm going to say 10 pounds down by March. I told myself after this week, after quarter end, after the haggardness, you got to do something. The thing that I have to do is the free food at work. I got to find some kind of healthy alternative, just clean that up, or just maybe just cut breakfast out entirely and just make a little fried rice thing and take it in. And even though breakfast's free and it sucks to spend a little money to make a healthier version, I'll just have to do it. Because they always have a salad. You can eat salad for lunches. That's no big deal. But just that breakfast, man. You go down there and she goes, oh, do you want one of your burritos? I'm like, yeah, I want a big burrito. Yeah, it's full of veggies. But then she goes, you want the spicy hash browns in there? And I go, yeah, I do. What kind of meat you want? Oh, I'll have some chorizo. And then it's just this big 9,000 calorie gorilla burrito. And even though I only eat half of it, but I still eat the other half like for dinner. So it's just, I don't know. I got to stop doing that. I got to get on the exercise horse. So I'm going to say 10 pounds down by your deadline because something's got to happen. We got to do it. We got to change. This has been on our list for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And not too long ago, I told you about this. I found pictures on my old phone of both of us when we were rocking and rolling and just the fittest men on the planet. And that sucks. It sucks to look at that and then go look at the mirror and just go, man, what did you do, man? What'd you do?
It is the best when you look at it and you're like, I remember having a conversation and going, what kind of fool jabroni can't keep in shape? What kind of jabroni can't get the motivation just to go downstairs or wherever it is and work out for an hour a day? Oh, what a bunch of morons. I don't even want to hear it.
We'll never stop. We'll never stop doing this.
And then, boom, here we are. Back to being jabronis. That's the best.
Life finds a way, Life finds a way.
It's punishment. We deserve it. It really is. So there you go. There's your real life, real deal. Oh, I want to lose weight. It's the one you hear every year from everybody in the world. But you know what? I'm going to make it happen. Up to March.
Yeah.
Mark my words, you sucker faces. Now, a carry-on is going to be the same one I've had last couple of years now, is that I'm going to play all the biggest, bestest, hottest games this year. I'm going to do it again, because you know what? I had a great time doing it. I had a wonderful time this year. I was in all the conversations. I knew what was going on with all the games, and it felt good. It was nice to be able to sit there and listen to others' opinions or reviews and go, oh, I agree here. No, I think you're ridiculous here. You don't even make any sense. You're about dumb as a rock. And just know and have a real opinion and not just be like, I just don't like that game because I don't like the way they do things. Instead, I was like, no, I played it and I still didn't like it. Or I played it and holy crap, I thought I wasn't going to like it. Instead, it's freaking amazing. Totally changed my mind. Rock and roll. So this year, everybody, you can count on Eric. He's going to have every big game played, every big game watched. Because let's be honest, there's a few games, no matter what, I'm just not interested in.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. But I will watch them. Because you know what? I have lunch times at work. I got nothing else to do. I mean, I suppose I could bring my Switch in and play a game, but every time I do that, I feel like I don't get anything done.
You can play some indie games, dude. Little tiny indie games. Just play an hour here, an hour there, dude. I'm just saying. Hey, you know what? If that's not your resolution
You're
for this
so
year,
right.
then I
You're
don't
so
even care.
right. You're so right, you know? And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know, I should do this resolution again and try again. But I'm scared, because the primary resolution requires lots of money. I don't know. Can I do both? Can I? Can I honestly do both?
You can do both because, like I said, man, you have an Epic Game Store library filled with indie games. Guaranteed full. You have a PlayStation library full of indie games. Are some of them the best in the world? No, but I guarantee there's some gems in there. You don't have to play the newest, hottest indie games. Just get some of those little bite sizes here and there, man.
All right, you son of a bitch. All right. All right. All right. On top of staying on top of those games, I'm going to do it. I will get those indies this year. I'm going to make sure by the end of this year, I have played at least 6 indie games that I would normally never play because I'm just too busy playing all the biggest, craziest, latest games.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get 6. That's all I'm promising. 6 of them. And don't come at me next year and go, those were like hour-and-a-half games, man.
Hey,
I
they
said
were 6 indie games.
That was 6. That's right. Don't judge me. I said 6. So there you go. That's what I'm doing. The biggest and best, all of it's going to be covered again. I will know what I'm talking about all of those. And I'll do 6 indie games.
Well, speaking of rolling over resolutions, I was looking at these ones that I wrote, and I'm like, man, these are all great resolutions. I'm rolling over, of course, beat every game that I start. Because that was a problem for me for forever, like years and years and years. It'd always be, I'm going to start up this big RPG and then make it halfway through, and then a new game came out, and I'll get back to it, and I never ever would. I'm going to continue to beat every game that I start. That also is going to include finishing up Yakuza Like a Dragon, finishing The Outer Worlds, doing all that stuff. Any game that I start this year, I'm going to finish this year or be in the process of continuing to finish throughout the year. But then here's a new one that I'm going to throw in there because I got the Xbox Series S and it is download only. And I was like, well, I'll obviously download some bigger titles, but I don't know what I'm going to do until I signed up for Xbox Game Pass. Now I have all these games at my fingertips. So I'm going to play and beat or play and get a ton of hours into, in the case of like a roguelite or something, one Xbox Game Pass game each month. I'm going to do that because otherwise it's sitting there just sucking money out of my account for no reason. And sure, it's not a lot of money, but it is something that it's costing me money, so I need to associate value to it. So I already have a whole queue of play later games. I've got 6 or 7 right now and 3 or 4 or 5 installed on the console ready to go. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm going to need to make a point of doing that, and that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll make a little checklist and just January, boom, I'm starting and playing, blah, and then put a little check mark right next to it once it's done. So that's what I'm going to do because there's tons and tons of awesome indie titles. I mean, stuff we've talked about back in the days of IG2G that you would talk about. I'm like, oh man, am I ever going to get a chance to play this? Now I can play it essentially for free on Xbox Game Pass. So one Game Pass game each month, played and beaten. If you can't beat it, just a ton of hours into it. I'm already doing it with Star Renegades. That's on there. Did it with River City Girls. I'm just going to keep that ball rolling.
I'm still so mad. I want to play River City Girls so bad.
It's so
God,
fun, dude.
so
It's
bad.
so fun.
So bad. Why? Why couldn't it be co-op just anywhere? Not local. Why?
I have no idea, dude.
That's a sad one for me, man. I'll tell you. So, with you saying that, I'm going to tie these two together for the sake of expediency. One, I want to reissue. Stream it again. You know, I enjoyed it when I did it. I do. I honestly do. The problem always ends up being time. There's always something I'm supposed to do. There's always something happening. But I'm never going to let it go because I like it when I do it. I have fun. I enjoy my little streams. So this year, I'm going to once again stick to the old 2 per month and try to make it through. That's what my goal is. I don't want to give it up. I'm never going to give it up. And I want to try to even do more than that, but that's what I want to stick with, is what I said last year. And on top of that, this kind of ties into the playing all the big games of the year. I want to get back in, and I don't even know why I'm doing this. I want to play Bloodborne. I want to play the new Demon Souls. I
Oh.
want to get back into the front. I know,
No.
man. But I feel like I'm missing something. You know, so much of the world, the gaming world, just sits there and just all over the From Software games. And of course, we all know I've played Demon Souls all the way through, and oh my god, I hated it. I hated it. God, it just pissed me off so much. But I'm missing something. There's something I'm missing. So I'm like, you know what? I need to play Bloodborne, Dark Souls, the new Demon Souls remastered. I need to punish myself.
Don't, Eric.
I need to punish myself.
No, you don't. And I'm going to tell you why, because I get that itch myself. Every single time people are like, oh man, you know, Bloodborne's still the best, blah, blah, blah. It's got so much more action combat. It's so much more fun and fluid. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It's the perfection of the formula. And I go and I watch my favorite YouTuber, Jesse Cox, play it, and I can't stand it. I hate it. I watch him play it, and even he's not having fun. And I go, this is not, no. If I got this, I would hate it. And I go, Bloodborne, everyone says it's fast and fluid. And I watch it, and it's the same damn thing that the other ones are. And I go, no, I don't. No, I'm never going to do it. You shouldn't do it either, Eric. I'm going to be disappointed.
I'm going to be disappointed.
Oh, God.
I know I am. But there's no excuse. I have Bloodborne already. I think my brother has Dark Souls, one of the Dark Souls, so I have that one for free. I have the Bloodborne for free. I'm like, I don't have any reason I can't. And I'm like, Eric, you already suffered through the original Demon Souls. You were you were the OG. You were the OG back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it, buddy. You could do it. And I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I could be part of the conversation. I could play these stupid games that I hate and love them, maybe, somehow. It's going to be great. So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to try to play some Bloodborne and some other From Software games this year and form a new opinion. Maybe it'll end up being the same opinion, but at least it'll be through new context instead of my old original Demon Souls back when it first came out, you know, opinion and thoughts.
Well, more power to you, Eric. If you want to have a bad time, I'm glad you made a resolution to have a bad time. But I'm going to have a resolution to have a good time again on stream twice a week. My only issue is I got to find like one day that's set in stone, and then the other days I can just be like, okay, well, I got nothing going on this day. I can do a couple hours here or there. But it sucks because Friday night is Borderlands night. Saturday night, I like to watch TV. And then Sunday night is going to work. Oh, why have fun? Just be miserable instead. So I got to find one night somewhere in the week, or maybe even go back to the Rise and Shine streams. Do something early in the morning on a Saturday or a Sunday when I'm not doing anything anyway. But I have to have one locked in so that I can have like a floater of just like, I really feel like playing some Outer Worlds today or whatever it is. But the other thing that I'm also going to carry over to that and need to really, I don't know, get out of my head about is just not stressing out about it. Just do it and have some fun. And if you're not having a lot of fun, end it after an hour and a half. Hey, you're going to wrap it up here, guys. Because I always feel like it's just like with the Xbox Game Pass. I feel like I have to invest my time in it to get this reward of getting further in the game out of it. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to stream twice a week. We're going to start fresh next week. Obviously, this week it's a lost cause, and I'm not going to stress out about it as much as I always do. I'm going to get out of my head about it. It's just something I got to do, so I'm just going to do it. Do I feel like playing a run of Star Renegades on stream, showing people that? People who probably haven't seen it but hear me raving about it all the time? Maybe I'll do one or two of those. Maybe I'll get back into Rogue Legacy and do a few runs of that on stream just because it's something I like to do. Why not share that with the people who like to watch us? Boom, there we go. It's nice and easy. It benefits everybody. I'm going to like it. They're going to like it. Hooray.
It's a win-win scenario. And like you said, I'm in that same boat with my get streaming again twice a month. I was like, I got to stick to something. You know, I'll play Doom Eternal all the way through. But it was like, God, I had to play Doom Eternal on my own, get it to the point where I was in a complete idiot with the level or whatever I was trying to do, and then go play it again on stream relatively close to after, so that way I was an idiot. And it was just like, I'm playing this game through like 2 to 3 different times. And then I'm like, but then I'm still sucking. Like I'd go through the one time, but I was like barely surviving, not knowing what the hell's going on. And I'm like, I'm going to get on stream and just, I'm going to die 50 times. Oh my God, I don't know, man. Oh, Jesus. And And so then I started to be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. Maybe I'll go play like 50 more times and then I'll do that level. Like when I've got like 100 extra lives and just nothing matters. It doesn't matter. It'll be so easy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I look back and I go, you know what? The best time I had was when I was playing like Monster Hunter with Shay or Anthem, you know, or Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we were just playing. We were just having fun, killing stuff, killing monsters, having a good time, shooting baddies, whatever it was. And I was like, that's when I was enjoying the streaming. Because I was just playing. I was decent at the game. Not great, but I was decent. There was no issues. It was when I started like trying to play this game. It's, you know, really difficult. And you got to actually be like really on point and getting going. Oh, it's just weighing on me. Oh, it's too hard. But I already committed to this. I was going to give my whole playthrough of Doom Eternal. That's what I was going to do. That on top of everything else. Like you. Just stop. Hey, you know what? Oh, tonight I'm playing Cyberpunk. Okay, cool. That's what I'm playing stream.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, oh, you know what? Oh, you want me to get online and play with you and go do this? Can I stream it? You cool with that? Okay. Oh, I guess we're doing Monster Hunter tonight on stream. Cool. Whatever I'm playing, that's what I'm going to start doing. I don't care if I'm jumping around. It's just going to have fun on stream, talk, shoot your snips, and play a game.
That's how it should be. I mean, that's how it is for everybody else that I see on the Twitter. I never see them going, oh, gee, guys, I'm really stressed out about stuff. I'm thinking about it too much. They just pop on and they go, hey, I'm here having fun. Come have fun with me. That's what it's going to be for me, for you. We're not going to stress out about it. We're just going to have fun on stream. That's all there is to it.
Damn straight. And of course, this ain't a resolution, but it is something I want to talk. Once quarter ends over, tax time's over, we got to sit down, me and the old team, which is Matt, and see where we want to go this year with the show. I feel like I want to change a little something up. You know, I don't know what, if it'll be big or small, but we don't often get times to interact anymore or do anything because obviously COVID shut down everything, hanging out and doing all that. Work, we don't even work in the same spots no more, so I rarely see, you know, him at work. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's hard to talk anymore about what the hell's going on, what we want to do, if we want to try to do something different. So hopefully when everything calms down here, we can get together and see what we want to do this year for the show, see if we want to try to push something, change something, do whatever. But hey, that's just something I want to talk with my partner in crime, and we got to get going. And hopefully it'll benefit everybody listening to the show too.
Yeah, 100% agree. I got thoughts and I got things that I want to do too. I'm not sure how we're going to do them, but we need to have that time to sit down and talk about it. And we just never have time to do that. The only time we hang out is on Borderlands night, and then it's time to handle business.
No, that's time to drink beers and play games.
You got to blow off steam and get past that week.
That's right.
There's some stuff I want to do this year, or I don't know, shake things up a little bit. So I don't know. So we'll get together on that. We'll do that. I don't know if I wanted to go into any other resolutions. I got personal resolutions, but that's too personal. That's too personal for the show. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm done because, like I said, any other ones I got are just for me. Show-wise, those are what I'm trying to do for the show and for the community, you know, at large. And obviously the weight gain one. Oh, not weight gain.
Well, you said it. You said it right here. Yeah. Eric's going to gain 40 pounds by September.
That one does benefit the community because obviously if I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fit, I'm feeling strong, ready to rock and roll, you're going to hear it. You're going to know it in the show as well. So it's a benefit for everybody.
I mean, that's honestly true because when you are feeling fit and you're working out and everything, even the bad stuff is not as bad because you're locked in, you're doing your thing, you're handling business, all the endorphins are running up to your head and you're a happy person. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Hey, thing from last year. Just tie it all in there. So those were our resolutions for this year and from last year. How about you out there in podcast listener land? Why don't you let us know, how did your resolutions go last year? What are your new resolutions for this year? Send them to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @thirdshiftme. And find us on Facebook. Go to Third Shift.
You can indeed send us all the things over there and find us over there on Facebook. You can also go over to Patreon. Hey, you know what? It's the beginning of a new year. You want to give us a little tip, give us a little something extra. You like what we're doing, want to motivate us to push forward and add said new things or change up, whatever. Consider throwing us a buck or two on said Patreon. We appreciate it so very much. Everyone who has ever and does still throw us a buck or two here and there. It's awesome. keeps the lights on, keeps the Podbeans happy, keeps everybody going and everybody rolling, and allows us to get a couple extra games here that go to a couple cons. Well, that's not true this last year, because the cons were not open, but you do all know we did go to a couple the year previous and had a great time, posted some fun pictures. We hope to do it again in the future, and it's because you all out there tipping us, helping us out, making that possible, because we're just two schmuckatellis living our lives. And you know what? We can't afford everything, but you make it possible. So thank you so very much.
And another thing you guys can do is listen to the very next episode of Third Shift, which is going to be dropping on the 14th, and it's going to be back to a normal show. Oh my God, I'm going to have to put show notes together and, think about releases. It's a good thing we've had like 4 weeks off. There's all kinds of releases that popped out. Oh my goodness. But you can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. As I always say, if you like what we're doing, you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it.
Indeed, we do appreciate it. We appreciate that, and the 5-star ratings you guys and gals are over there throwing our way. We want them. We need them. Get us those 5-star ratings. Please, please, please. The new year has come, and you can too also go over there and throw us a new freaking 5-star rating and get us higher on the metrics and make us seem like we're so freaking badass no one can stop and just not listen to the show. Okay? Do it.
And with that, there's nothing else to say but... Don't forget to say
Shut up and sit down.